Ever since I got my start on YouTube, I've always wanted to do top 10 lists. For some reason, I never got around to it. Well, that's about to change. 2015 has been such a monumental year for gaming that I felt like I just had to share my personal favorites. So welcome everyone to Solanima's top 10 games of 2015. Little clarification of the criteria for this list. Each entry has to be a game that came out sometime in 2015, obviously. It has to be a game that I have played at some point. I missed a lot of the big releases this year, so if you don't see Metal Gear Solid 5 or Fallout 4 on the list, it's not because I didn't like the games. I just never played them. So that being said, sit back and enjoy what I found to be the best experience gaming had to offer this year. StarCraft 2, Legacy of the Void. Oh yeah, you know it's a good list when it starts with StarCraft. Legacy of the Void, the final expansion to StarCraft 2, was the entry I was most excited for back when Wings of Liberty was released. I always liked the Protoss race the most. Was it their aesthetics, or the fact that they could simply warp in their buildings and units? I'm not sure. Admittedly, I have yet to finish any of the previous campaigns, so I haven't had the chance to play the new one, but the changes in the units and multiplayer are awesome so far. So, why is it so low on the list? Well, as much as I love real-time strategy games, I'm pretty bad at them. When I play online, I play with my friends who are around my skill level, rather than trying to climb the ranked ladder. Still, can't deny that Blizzard has put together a seriously great game, and I always enjoy the time I spend playing it. Tales of Zestiria. I am a huge fan of Namco Bandai's Tales of franchise. I have played most of Tales of Symphonia, and have completed Tales of the Abyss and Tales of Vesperia, the latter being one of my all-time favorite JRPGs. I was really disappointed when I found out that, after Vesperia, all the games were exclusively being released on the PlayStation 3, which I never owned. I missed out on Tales of Graces F and Tales of Xillia, so when I found out the next game was coming to PC, I was hyped. So far the game's been great. I'm only a couple hours in, but the combat is fun, and the cel-shaded graphics are more gorgeous than ever. And that theme song, I could listen to it all day. Ever since I was a kid, I always loved games that allowed for creative expression. I used to spend hours crafting devious levels in Lode Runner and bizarre creatures in Spore. When Super Mario Maker was announced, however, I was kind of on the fence about how interested I was. As I got closer to launch, however, I started hearing about all the crazy things people were doing in their pre-launch review copies. I noticed details like being able to change to virtually any Mario game's art style, and the costumes you could import through amiibos. By the time the game launched, I had pre-installed it to my Wii U, and started messing around with it immediately. I couldn't help but smile at the quirky sense of humor, and I love how the editor feels like a game more than a tool. I feel like I really should play around with it more, but what I have played has been a blast. Guitar Hero Live. I was a big fan of Guitar Hero back in the day. I got my start with Guitar Hero 3, and through intensive practice managed to master the expert difficulty on all but the hardest songs. I even beat the final boss Lou, earning an achievement to be proud of, beat the game's career mode on expert. I enjoyed Guitar Hero 4 and its expanded roster of instruments, and loved the sleek look of Guitar Hero 5. It's around then the game series, as well as Rock Band, started to stagnate a bit, and the developers stopped making the games for a while. Until this year. Guitar Hero Live is everything I could have asked for. It's a breath of fresh air the series desperately needed. The new controller means you have to relearn how to play the game, and the new style of giving the player a first-person perspective of the guitarist's view in a live-action concert adds a level of immersion never before felt in a rhythm game. The song list, from what I have seen, looks to be mostly modern hits with a couple of classic songs thrown in for variety, and I've really enjoyed my time with it so far. Let's hope Freestyle Games is up to the challenge for the inevitable sequel. Splatoon. Leave it to Nintendo to make a shooter that feels fresh and unique. The combination of spreading ink as a kid and swimming through as a squid gives you so many tactical options when it comes to approaching an opponent, and the focus on covering the map rather than killing enemies really makes the game feel unique. Then there's the post-launch support. New maps and weapons dropping every few months, and who could forget Splatfests? Cast your vote, join a team, and fight to earn points for the side you support. Add in a beautiful color aesthetic and one heck of a catchy soundtrack, and you have a formula for success. Never change, Nintendo.
Back so soon? I knew you would not falter.
Hand of Fate. This game was actually released in early access on Steam in July of 2014, but wasn't a full release until this year. I fell in love with this game the moment I saw it. A card game / roguelike with Arkham-style combat? Sign me up. The game has come a long way since 2014 and has plenty of free expansions already available, and this is perhaps my favorite part of the game, the dealer.
What brings you to play the game? Ha! I know you will not tell me. Like all the rest, you are silent. A treasure chest? What more iconic emblem of success could we imagine? Though I admire his ilk, I live by very different rules. I will happily wager on the outcome. I do not think you have what it takes. A horse is a fine companion. I'm sure you'll leave this one in time. You do not seem to have the temperament for friends, even in the animal kingdom.
I have yet to finish the game, so I don't know if these mysteries are unraveled later, but he is so well voiced. Every time I start up the game, I can't wait to hear what he has to say to me next. Where the cards take me today? Only one way to find out.
Did you expect me to tell your fortune? No. A fortune teller is at their most base and despicable when they begin to believe their own lies. Of course, I am different. My powers are genuine.
Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin. Okay, this one is kind of cheating since Dark Souls 2 launched in 2014, but I didn't get to it until this version, and it came out this year, so close enough. Also, haven't played Bloodborne yet, so this will have to do. Anyway, back to the list. I love the Dark Souls games. I love the challenge, the visuals, the lore. Even the voice acting has been consistently impressive so far. I didn't enjoy the sequel as much as the original Dark Souls, but I still consider it to be an impressive game. They flipped the exploration around, giving you the ability to warp immediately, and allowing you to take on the first few areas in any order before going to linear. Unlike Dark Souls, which started linear and branched out about halfway through. Scholar of the First Sin also came with all the DLC, which gave me and Zathos plenty to do. Yes, we played through the majority of the game together. Dark Souls continues to impress, and with Dark Souls 3 on the horizon, I'm feeling hopeful. Life is Strange. I have been following this game since it was initially announced. It was made by Don't Nod Entertainment, the folks behind the severely underrated game Remember Me. I had just finished playing Telltale's The Walking Dead Season 2, and was itching for another game like it. Life is Strange was everything I could have hoped for, and so much more. The choices were interesting, the time rewind mechanic was fun to use and made for some interesting puzzles, and the plot had more twists and turns than a roller coaster. Almost every single episode ended with me craving to get to the next one to see what would happen next. If you haven't heard of this game, and are looking for a game with a great narrative and a fun cast of characters, you could do worse than Life is Strange. Batman, Arkham Knight. Oh yes, the Caped Crusader returns. Before I picked up Arkham Asylum, I didn't really care for Batman as a superhero. When I finished that first game, everything changed. I am now officially a fan. Then Arkham City came out, and it managed to improve on Asylum in almost every conceivable way. Needless to say, I was hyped for this one, and it did not disappoint at all. Incredible visuals, a massive city to explore, and tons of stuff to do. And of course, the Batmobile. Some people thought it was overused, but I loved every second I spent with it. To date, it is probably the most fun I've ever had with a vehicle in any game. It controlled like a dream, and aside from a couple of the more challenging Riddler racetracks, I almost never felt frustrated while using it. Was it overused? Maybe for some people. I brought it with me wherever I could. Fun fact, I played on PC, and aside from a slight frame drop whenever I entered the Batmobile, I didn't experience any technical issues, and didn't mind the 38 frames per second lock. I guess it helps when you custom built your computer only a few months ago. Either way, don't let the horror stories keep you from picking up perhaps the greatest Batman game ever made. Just get it on console if you're worried. Okay, before we hit my number one game of 2015, a few honorable mentions. Tales from the Borderlands. Technically this game came out in 2014, but the final episode was released this year. I've only played up to maybe halfway through the second episode, and it is one of the most hilarious games I've ever had the pleasure of playing. I've never played any of the Borderlands games before.
Are your own. But bad things can happen when you swim against fate. Sometimes men find themselves standing in the way of other men's destiny. You don't want to be that man. Wow, I could not have timed that better. That really helps dramatically make my point.
Emily is Away. This game is free on Steam and should be nostalgic to anyone who used to chat on AOL Instant Messenger. It's a cute game, and it should only take maybe a half hour to play through all the way. I won't spoil the story, but it's definitely worth a look if you have a few minutes to spare. Now for a quick recap. Number 10, StarCraft 2, Legacy of the Void. Number 9, Tales of Zestiria. Number 8, Super Mario Maker. Number 7, Guitar Hero Live. Number 6, Splatoon. Number 5, Hand of Fate. Number 4, Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin. Number 3, Life is Strange. Number 2, Batman Arkham Knight. And my number one game I played in 2015 is...
We are the ones to ignite the darkened skies. The champions.
Undertale. Holy crap, Undertale. I had a feeling about this game way back when the demo was available, and the game was just another Kickstarter dream project. I did not expect it to be this good. Made almost entirely by a single person, Undertale is an incredible experience. The story is wonderful and full of twists and turns. The characters are unique and wonderfully realized. The combat system is ingenious and unlike anything I've ever seen in an RPG. The pixel art is beautifully crafted, and the soundtrack, holy crap, the soundtrack! It is seriously the best soundtrack I've heard in a game since Cave Story. And the way the game remembers your choices, even through subsequent playthroughs, is shocking. The multiple endings add a ton of replayability, and each ending is satisfying and, for lack of a better term, unique. I guess that describes this game pretty well. It's unique. It's also one of the funniest, most emotional games I've ever played, and deserves to be remembered. And that's my list. If I didn't mention a favorite game of yours this year, I probably didn't get a chance to play it. It was a busy year for me. So leave a comment. I would love to hear what you guys enjoyed playing this year, and who knows, maybe I'll eventually get around to more of these incredible games. I said it before and I'll say it again. 2015 was a fantastic year for gaming. In fact, I would say it's the best year gaming has had in a long time. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.